This is NDTV. And you're watching Ndtv-Hindu.
The government recommends AICTE not to issue any more licenses to engineering colleges in the state, says it has enough.
தமிழகத்திற்கு புதிய கல்லூரிகளை துவக்க அனுமதிக்க கூடாது என்று தமிழக அரசின் சார்பில் AICTE கேட்டுக்கொண்டிருக்கிறோம்.
The Thanjavur big temple, all set to celebrate its 1000th birthday, is it in a danger of sinking? An Ndtv-Hindu exclusive.
உறிஞ்சுகிற போது இந்த மணல் அதனுடைய கட்டமைப்பு குலையும், இந்த கட்டடம் இறுதியாக சரிய வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது.
After RTI activists cry foul, Jayalalitha targets the government, calls the appointment of the Chief Information Commissioner illegal. It's not just a collector's item anymore, it could be your next big bet to rake in the big bucks.
There are paintings that I've bought at 1,000 rupees that are now worth 25 lakhs.
Captain Dhoni is not impressed with Akram's remarks. Defending the men in blue, Dhoni said that such remarks were not required at all.
I don't think, you should be clever enough to just make a statement based on 3 games or 4 games. It's the overall picture that you see.
It's a do-or-die match for Team India. Sehwag scores a brilliant century while wickets stumble at the other end. Good evening and welcome to this special bulletin at 8 p.m. Headlines now. I'm Radhika Iyer. When Rajaraja Chola created the Periya Kovil in Thanjavur, he apparently said that no natural force can bring this temple down. No tsunami, no stormy winds could shake his creation. But he said, if man wishes, then the structure will come down. And today, it seems, while on one hand, the people of Thanjavur and Archaeological Survey of India, the department is getting ready to celebrate the great Brihadishwara temple's 1000th birthday. On the other hand, the ASI is causing as much danger for that very temple. It wants to dig a borewell that could well get that 216 feet tower temple down. That is the big exclusive report on Ndtv-Hindu on this very bulletin. But before that, the national news headlines. Lok Sabha passes the nuclear liability bill by a voice vote. Prime Minister says the nuclear bill does not favor the US.
The motion is adopted and the bill as amended.
But the BJP accuses the centre of hustling the bill just before the President Obama's visit to India in November. The Home Minister speaks of a threat from within, the new phenomenon of saffron terror.
There is a recently uncovered phenomenon of saffron terrorism that has been implicated in many bomb blasts of the past.
Well, if not soccer, these days football players from Iceland can definitely teach us a thing or two about celebrations. The biggest asset of Tamil Nadu in terms of heritage, all set to celebrate its 1000th birthday in September. While the government is making gala plans to celebrate Thanjavur's big temple, the Brihadishwara temple, there is a real danger that threatens the temple's survival. In fact, its Vimana's survival. The temple's wonder tower that has withstood the elements over the different centuries is likely to sink if the government has its way. A borewell that is being built, expected to come close to the sanctum sanctorum of the temple, that can even bring it down. An Ndtv-Hindu exclusive report by Peer Mohammed.
The Thanjavur Temple Rights Retrieval Committee is furious. The committee has approached the Madras High Court to close the borewell being dug less than 100 feet away from the sanctum sanctorum of the Brihadishwara temple. That is a complete violation of the World Heritage Act by UNESCO, because digging a borewell could endanger the sandbed basement on which the 216 feet high Vimana or temple tower stands.
தஞ்சை பெரிய கோயிலினுடைய கருவறையினுடைய மேற்கட்டு விமானமும் 216 அடி உயரம் கொண்ட 45,000 டன் எடையுள்ள கற்களால் கட்டப்பட்டது. அதனுடைய கடைகால் மிகப்பெரிய தொழில்நுட்பத்தால் செய்யப்பட்டிருக்கும் என்று நாம் எதிர்பார்க்க முடியாது. அந்த காலத்து அறிவு அச்ச உணர்வின் பார்ப்பட்டது. அதனால் அவர்கள் மிகப்பெரிய மணற்படுகையை தேர்வு செய்திருக்கலாம் அல்லது மணற்படுகையை உருவாக்கியிருக்கலாம். அந்த மணற்படுகையில் கருவறையிலிருந்து 100 அடி தொலைவுக்குள்ளாகவே அவங்க ஆழ்துளை கிணறு போட்டு 400 அடி ஆழம் வரை அடிநீரை உறிஞ்சுகிற போது இந்த மணல் அதனுடைய கட்டமைப்பு குலையும், இந்த கட்டிடம் இறுதியாக சரிய வாய்ப்பு இருக்கிறது.
But the Archaeological Survey of India, which protects the heritage monument, defends the action of the temple authorities. ASI maintains that the purpose is to get water for performing abhishekams to the linga in the temple.
After a lot of deliberations and after taking considerable advice from engineers and architects, it was decided to deepen the well a little further so that at least there will be half an hour uninterrupted water supply for performing the puja. As a result of which, there is no problem to the temple per se or to the structure.
The borewell would be dug as deep as 170 feet, something that could cause vibration to the temple tower and possible cracks from within. That's not a present its creator Rajaraja Chola would want for the temple's 1000th birthday. In Chennai with Peer Muhammad, Nitila, Ndtv-Hindu.
Dr. Satyamurthy, former superintendent of the ASI, joins us live in our studio. Thanks very much, Dr. Satyamurthy, for talking to us. But before that, we also have some experts joining us from the rice bowl of the state itself, from Thanjavur. Live from Thanjavur, the Vice President of the Civil Engineers Association, Mr. Rajendran, now joins us on the phone line. Also, Professor Devanayagam, an authority on the big temple, someone who really knows virtually every stone in that structure present there. First to you, Mr. Rajendran, thanks very much initially for joining us. Tell us about the ground reality. You are there in Thanjavur. You visit that place as often as perhaps any resident of Thanjavur. Tell us the ground reality. How far away is this 170 feet deep trench that has been dug up right there within 100 feet of that temple?
Good evening to all. See, what is it is learned from other sources. They have stopped. First of all, they have stopped the work now. For past 3 or 4 days, no work is being continued there. They have stopped at the height of depth of about 95 feet or something. That's what they say. Another thing, the bore is approximately about 100 feet from the sanctum sanctorium on the southern side, right? And another thing, it is on the whole temple rests on a sedimentary rock. If the water is drawn continuously, there is a chance. I mean, you cannot say it will happen or it may not happen, but there is a chance of the sedimentary rock sliding due to shortage. I mean, once it dries up, the chances are very, there. So once there is a chance, definitely you cannot take that just near a heritage monument. That's what we are worried. So we raised this, and then the public, all the public joined together. Now they've raised it, and it is. I think the authorities have listened to that and they've stopped it now. There is no work now at present. But if they still the same thing, they should stop it and abandon that board. So it is our wishes. They should not continue in this vicinity. They can do it at about 300 meters away or 500 meters away and bring it through water. The water can be they can bring the water to the temple through a pipe. Definitely this is not advisable.
All right. Are you saying, Mr. Rajendran, that you can perhaps conduct or you can perhaps dig this borewell 300 meters from the point where it is being dug right now?
Definitely, 300 meters. I think the heritage monuments, there is a norm. You cannot do a dig or do any mining or any bore activities about 500 meters from a heritage monument.
Absolutely, absolutely, and more so considering this monument is structured on top of a foundation on a sand bed. Remember, this very monument, which is about 1,000 years old, is on top of a 5.5 feet foundation, and that's all. The foundation is just 5.5 feet beneath the sanctum sanctorum. But Mr. Rajendran, one more fact that we'd like to know from you: were there any vibrations when the trench was made?
Definitely. I don't think that vibration will affect that, but I'm worried about the water, which will affect the sedimentary rock. That's the thing, not the vibration.
Right.
The vibration, it won't be transmitted that heavily there. Even if there is a small sliding of that sedimentary rock at this point, definitely that will damage the structure.
Right. What is the opinion of geologists in the area? Have they made a visit here?
It is on a sedimentary rock. The geologist says it is on a sedimentary rock. The sedimentary rock there is a lot of relationship between moisture and the grains, the minute granular part of the sand or whatever the thing, particles there. So once the water is drawn, once it dries, it will slide like papers. That's what that is exact word used by the geologist.
Right, that really is scary, Mr. Rajendran. Thank you very much, but stay on with us. Mr. Satyamurthy, you heard what Mr. Rajendran had to say and the opinion of geologists. Yes, go on, sir.
Actually, there is, I think, archaeological survey is not digging that well, as far as I know.
Yes,
this only this,
but they have given the permission to dig
already 150 meter.
Sir, the pretext of digging a borewell is that we need water to conduct abhishekams for Lord Shiva, Lord Brihadishwara rather, who is the deity in that very sanctum sanctorum. But the worry, of course, of geologists, of heritage lovers is the fact that if there is a threat to the Vimana or even the foundation, then why do it at all? And that is the big threat. Sir, the fact that this Vimana is on top of a sedimentary rock which needs that moisture content in its sandbed in the foundation. What do you make of this? Rajaraja Chola would obviously not want a present like this in the 1000th birthday.
It is true. Actually, that is even Archaeological Survey of India is taking water far away. It is not even for garden operations, for all other works, even for conservation works, even for cleaning, chemical cleaning, what is brought from more than 1000 meters away. So that is done. But here in this particular case, I think already 150 meter bore well was there, which was functioning for the past 20 or 25 years. Now,
I'm afraid a little research done by us, sir, was talks about a borewell which was there about 24 years ago, which apparently dried up, and this is according to the chief of the ASI, Madam Satyabama, who says that there was a well there from where water was being collected to clean the temple and also more importantly to conduct abhishekas for Lord Brihadishwara, who is the main deity there in that temple. But that dried up 24 years ago, and then they moved on to dig another borewell, but this one is going to be further deep. It's going to be 170 feet deep. Now imagine if water was to be sucked out from that very level, then it could perhaps take away the moisture content of the sandbed which really forms the foundation for this 216 feet tall Vimana. Remember, only the Vimana of the temple is 216 feet tall. Professor Devanayagam, thank you very much for joining us live from Tanjavur. You are someone, sir, who knows in and out of this very temple, someone who knows exactly where each stone is placed. From what we have reported, what do you think is the most immediate thing that should be done at this stage?
Thank you, madam. Thank you very much for calling me. And good evening to another. After our instructions, the endangerment is being stopped. So absolutely it is stopped now. But anyway, I was mentioning about the vibration.
Yes.
If they are further going on in this endeavor, definitely this vibration will attack the stupendous structure and its basement and the foundation also. Because from such a depth of 170, it will definitely erupt like anything with volcanic force and may collapse the foundation also.
Right. Sir, if I may interrupt you here, Professor Devanayagam, could you give us some insight into this foundation per se? Remember, Rajaraja Chola, one son, Rajendra Chola, also tried to attempt a structure like this, a monument like this, in a little faraway place called Gangaikonda Cholapuram, where, of course, he couldn't succeed despite taking a larger area as the foundation. Tell us what is so special about this very temple, the site where it is located and the foundation that the great king chose right there.
Okay, madam. The foundation of Tanjavur Pragadishwara temple is 96 into 96 feet. It is a square and its depth is analyzed as 5.5 feet only because it has been located in a sedimentary rock of lime rocks. Which is so viscous if it gets moisture, otherwise it will be very hard like granite if it dry. Okay, in the dry condition it will be rocky.
Okay.
So therefore it can bind the foundation as well as it may, having a very safe substratum for the foundation as well as the basement. So that is the unique feature of Tanjavur Pragadishwara.
Yes.
Whereas in the other case of Gangaikonda Cholapuram, The basement is a little bit broad, that is 110 feet into 110 feet.
Yes.
It is also a very big, massive, ambitious project by his own son Rajendra.
Yes.
Whereas we can see some vertical cracks because of the loose soil foundation. Okay.
Okay. So
And
we
one
get
more
that
thing.
point, sir. So the idea that we're trying to, the point that we're trying to drive to our viewers who perhaps don't know, who know only to perhaps enjoy, I for one could just enjoy the images but didn't really understand the nitty-gritties that Rajaraja Chola had taken care of to ensure that this structure, remember the Vimana has no cement, has no limestone to attach each stone, and each of those stones weigh tons of kgs. In fact, the entire Vimana is about approximately 45,000 tons of weight, and that stands straight and tall. Now, like Professor Devanayagam was sort of enlightening us, the fact that Rajaraja Chola, the king, the great king, chose that very area itself goes to say how good he was, even with site selection, and how much of a vision he had for the future, that this has to last for long. So why indeed is this much ado? Why are we making a noise about getting a bowel near that very beautiful monument? Why is it that we say that the Thanjavur temple has not got its due? This temple is so magnificent architecturally, it perhaps is one of the most strongest structures anywhere in the world. Look at this report, which gives you some facts that you perhaps would have never known about the great Brihadishwara temple, the big wonder about the big temple. I've got a ticket to travel to Thanjavur, one of the most important places not just in Tamil Nadu but in the whole of India, which has witnessed the creation of one of the most important World Heritage sites, the great living Chola temples. These dolls, famous as Thanjavur Thalayattu Bommai, never stop swaying. Maybe it's their way to celebrate that they belong to Thanjavur, that's home to the most ambitious granite monument ever built in the world. There are many names given to this World Heritage Monument. It is called the Great Living Chola Temple, or the Brihadishwara Temple, or simply the Big Temple, because everything here is big. In fact, the biggest. The entrance, the area around the temple, the Shivling, the Nandi, and the magnificent Vimana or the tower. The Vimana has had even the best of archaeological experts of the 21st century amazed. At 216 feet, it is the highest in the world. The tower is in granite. Repeat, granite, the hardest stone available in the world. Blocks of the stone have been raised to form 13 stories. Just the topmost block weighs 80 tons. What's astounding is that there is no joint. Not even a fraction of limestone or cement is used to raise it. You bet it can stand for millions of years. That's why experts have given it the name the Immortal Edifice. The secret is incomparable, unimaginable. The Chola king has so intelligently given shape to each stone that it fits so well in its place to withstand any amount of sun, rain or the wind.
The entire Vimana was built by the granite pieces, and that too of Ekajadi type, single variety of stones. That much of material selection knowledge was in existence with the Chola engineers. And the purpose of erecting this stupendous structure is to represent Mount Kailash.
how spectacular this temple would have looked some 1,000 years back when Rajaraja Chola inaugurated it. The Tanjore paintings would have been fresh and the temple was earth red totally. The king never allowed artificial colors, or there were no acrylic colors anyway. Apparently the men used to pound and powder naturally colored stones, mix with water and then apply it.
Even today, everything is novel to me. And every day it inspires me with some novel intricacies. Every day. You can also enjoy this edifice in different angles. If you go for iconography, if you go for architecture, if you go for ritual, if you go for the very form, you can enjoy. Every day it gives a news. Every news is very novel and something useful, and to not only impress you, to initiate you to proceed in a different angle also in the architectural discipline.
Okay, so there you have it, the report that explains why this should be called the marvel of the millennium. Thankfully, work has stopped for the last 3 days. The digging has stopped for the last 3 days, but the big worry for geologists, for architectural experts, and of course for heritage lovers, people of Thanjavur, devotees of Brihadishwara temple, the big worry is of course that will work resume? The fact that it has been, the trench has been dug, sir, do you think now that the pipe will indeed be laid? Because we've been trying to reach with Prince, someone who's one of the caretakers, who's been very responsive, who said that he would take action immediately. The big worry is, will pipe be laid and will water indeed be taken out from the ground there?
Now I think that it is closed, almost it is closed. They may go for some other source of water. Archaeology service taking water from 1,000 feet away from the monument.
Yes, that's a good point, sir. If we have Professor Devanayagam yet, Professor Devanayagam, you are there in Thanjavur. Do you think there are alternatives for the government? Can they take water from elsewhere?
Yeah, definitely. There are so many places. It's a very big campus. From which maybe from the eastern side or from northeastern side, as per the tradition, they may bring the water.
Yes, thank you very much, sir. So that's the big point. There are alternatives, and let's hope that the government is listening. Let's hope that the ASI ensures that the monument does not lose its foundation, which really is helping it stand. And let's hope that they realize that when Rajaraja Chola could do it when he was the king, when he had brought this temple out, when he had created this beautiful monument, when they could go travel far away on elephants, on the days when they didn't have lorries, etc., to bring waters from nearby ponds and rivers, then perhaps we could do it even better on days when we have modes of transportation.
The requirement is also very less. It is 1,000 liters for pujas.
Yes.
So it is not much water also.
Yes, just 1,000 liters. Yeah. So let there be 1,000 liters of water just about every day, and let that gift of 1,000 liters of water for Abhishekam go on for several years, and that perhaps will be that perfect gift for the big temple in Thanjavur at the time it's going to be celebrating its 1,000th year in existence. We'll slip into a short break at the moment, but we'll come back because there's lots more news lined up.